Hey everybody, it's MommaOG. I am back with another reaction. Apologies for the absence of videos this week. I came down with a horrible cold. Probably the worst cold I've had in years. I'm not even sure I've ever had one this bad. You could probably still hear it in my voice. I might be sniffling a little bit. My voice might be cracking a bit. Normally I record over the weekends, and I couldn't get to it until today, Tuesday, May 5th. So my apologies for the absence. Today I have another donation request from Dave. Dave, as always, thank you so much. He's asked me to listen to Aurora, The Conflict of the Mind. I have not heard this song yet. One of many. I'm 70-something videos in. There are still a lot of songs that I have not heard yet. Before we get started, if you would like to request a specific reaction, you can click on a donation link down in the description, send along the information, and I will get it added to my list. I also take notes during my reactions, so if you see me looking down, I'm just writing down a couple of things to help me remember what I want to say when it's time to talk about this. I've got my earbuds in. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Da, 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 da. She looks sad. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm trying to write the notes down. At first, I saw the dad was gone, and then I saw the mom, and now the other kids, their clothes are just laying there as if they just disappeared. This part in particular where it started showing her caressing the clothes, I got like chills up and down my body. I don't know why. I'm writing down these notes, so I'm going to talk about it after. I had to stop it to kind of catch up. Let's rewind it. I'm going to rewind it quite a bit here. This is already halfway over, my goodness. Okay, let's keep going. Inside your cup, in your eyes I saw a longing, while I long effect they have with their voice there. Sounds like it's with the keyboard, I'm sure. Goosebumps. Ooh, this looks good. The Blade from Mexico City. Okay. I'm going to look into the lyrics. I've got them pulled up here, but before I do that, I just want to go over some of the things that I got. I think the first thing I want to say is that what the visuals were giving me versus what the lyrics were giving me could be two different things, but they could also connect. Like, obviously, in the video, you're seeing an unhappy family. They all have these expressions on their face where it looks like there's stuff going on that they're not talking about that's making everybody miserable. And maybe, you know, the fact that there was just clothes on the table at one point, the family dissolved somehow because of these underlying unspoken tensions. This could also be applied to a friend or anybody that you know that might be experiencing conflicts of the mind and kind of just having their spirit crushed because of it. It felt deeply introspective. Visually, it felt like, you know, and I don't know if she wrote this about a personal experience. I know she doesn't do that often. So, you know, it almost felt like it could have been a personal experience, but I do believe, and don't quote me on this, that her parents are together. And so maybe this is just another situation where she wrote a song about other situations she's seen outside of her own. And again, it could relate to just a specific person she knows or another situation involving just a single person. Like I said, with the visuals and just seeing the tension that never kind of was released. It just felt like it was just sitting under the surface the entire time. And some of the lyrics I caught were extremely heavy. You know, as she was sitting there singing, I wanted her to kind of release that tension and, you know, bang on the table or get up and, you know, hug somebody or, I don't know, do something to release this tension I was feeling under the surface. The very first part of the video where it showed her singing, and then all of a sudden, and she's infamous for this, all of a sudden she just looks directly at you in the camera. Every time she does this, it feels like she's looking into my soul. Like, it genuinely feels like I am the only one that's in the room. I mean, technically that's true, but with her, even through the screen, it feels like she's just looking right at me. There were a couple of vocal effects in there that were really cool. The verses had one versus the chorus, and then there was one that sounded like it was tied to her synthesizer. And that was also pretty cool. I'm not sure I've heard her do that many vocal effects in one song. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at these lyrics. It's a complicated story that we never talk about, but I see it in the mirrors, in the curtains of our house. Okay, so that implies that it is kind of a family story, or it could be, a couple that lives together. I don't want you to be worried that we're running out of time. It doesn't matter where we're going. We can leave it all behind. Yeah, that could mean a couple of different things. That either don't be worried, we're not going anywhere, but we are going to be moving on with our lives, and we could just leave this chapter behind us. Or it could mean that there's going to be a dissolution of some sort of a relationship or a family dynamic, and it's going to be left behind. Here's the chorus. Only when I see you cry, I feel conflicted in my mind. It fills my heart up and it breaks me at the very same time. I have felt that phenomenon many times. It's like a bittersweetness. I don't know, specifically, this has nothing to do with the song, but specifically, watching my daughter grow up and now my grandkids. It's the most joyous thing to observe. You watch your child go milestone, and then they become a teenager and a young adult, and then they start a career, and then they're living on their own, forming their own relationships and surviving it. It's incredibly heartwarming to watch that process, but it's like, I just want her to be a little baby in my arms again. And there was multiple stages of that as she grew up. With each milestone, it was an amazing milestone, but it meant she was growing up, and that just means getting further away from my embrace, I guess you'd say. I'm not sure. It still gets me a little bit. I'm incredibly proud of her, though. She's an amazing human being, and just so proud of her. That's life. We all grow up and get older, and you can't do anything about it. All right, so it fills my heart up. It breaks me at the very same time. Okay, so she says, only when I see you cry, I feel conflicted in my mind. It fills my heart up and breaks me at the same time. Like, she could be referring to seeing somebody cry, and the fact that they're showing emotion makes her, fills her heart up. But then, seeing somebody cry means that they're hurting, and that's the part that breaks her. When you open up the gates for me. So yes, when somebody opens up and is vulnerable emotionally for you, it can be bittersweet. When you open up the gates for me and leave the world behind, we find proof of love is hidden in the conflict of the mind. That's incredibly powerful. Okay, verse 2. I remember how I'd find you, fingers tearing through the ground. Were you digging something up, or did you bury something down? In your soul I found a thirst, with only salt inside your cup. In your eyes I saw a longing, while I longed to lift you up. Yeah, okay, so this seems like it's a direct one-on-one relationship, watching somebody struggle. I'd find you tearing through the ground. Are you trying to dig something up, or did you bury something? And then this part here, I found a thirst with only salt inside your cup. That is an incredible line. And then this ends with a sweetness. In your eyes I saw a longing, while I longed to lift you up. It's just what I just said, somebody struggling with something and wanting to help them, but, being there for them, as long as they'll let you in. And then just, I don't know, seeing the struggle, and you see this longing in their eyes for things to get better, and you want to be there to lift them up. You just are not sure how exactly to achieve that, or if you can even achieve that. Many times when people are struggling with things, it's just the only thing that's going to heal is time. And that's the hardest thing to hear. When you're struggling with something, it's temporary, but it seems like it's going to last forever. Okay, so the chorus again. Only when I see you cry, I feel conflicted in my mind. It fills my heart up and breaks me at the very same time. When you open up the gates for me and leave the world behind, we find proof of love is hidden in the conflict of the mind. Wow. Okay, here's the bridge. So this part kind of hit me in the song. I heard these lyrics. Don't let your spirit die. This is just a conflict of the mind. Is your heart alive? You'll overcome a conflict of the mind. Don't let your spirit die. This is just a conflict of the mind. Is your heart alive? You'll overcome a conflict of the mind. Okay, and it just repeats. This is just, seems she's encouraging and reminding, like I've said many times, both in videos, people I talk to who are struggling with things, my daughter, my sister, other family members, you have to remember that as awful as what you're going through right now is, it's temporary. The only thing that's going to heal it and help it is time. You have to kind of process these things and not hold them back, or else it could cause, it could kill that spirit inside of you. I always talk about like trauma that people go through, that I've gone through. The biggest trick about trauma is surviving it, and what surviving it does for you as a human being. When you're in the middle of a traumatic situation and you're going through it, whether it's short term or an extended source of trauma, there's a lot of hopelessness, and this is never going to end. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get past this, or am I, you might even be questioning whether you will survive it and not know if you have control over surviving it. I often find that once the trauma part is over, you still have to survive that, and that can take years. There's traumatic situations I've been through that I'm still not over, that I have survived, but have kind of rewired me, both biologically and in my brain, my nervous system, how I respond to things now, even, years, even decades after the trauma. So I relate that feeling to this. Don't let your spirit die. You'll overcome this conflict. It just, it often saddens me that sometimes you run into people or you hear about people who have taken their lives. And I always wonder, whatever it was they were going through, how surviving that would have changed their lives. And I think a lot of people that do feel like they can't survive it and end up taking their lives is they're kind of stuck in that severe trauma stage and don't have hope or see a way out of it. But I have found personally, being through several traumatic situations in my life, that, I felt that way in those moments. But I did survive them, and not that I would ever want to go back and repeat these traumatic things or ever have those things happen to me again, but I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't gone through that and if I hadn't survived it. Trauma teaches you things, and it depends on how you handle it. You know, as you're learning to survive it, it can make you a better person. It can make you stronger and more adaptable. It can better prepare you for the many shoes that life is going to drop in your future. I don't know. It can also do its damage over time as well, and the way it manifests itself over the years. I go through that to this day, and I'm dealing with it. So, oh, hello ADHD. Once again, I'm rambling. This was yet another beautiful song. I always say this. I don't think there's going to be a single solitary song by Aurora that I will not like. All of them I have been able to relate to in some shape or form, which is just beautiful about her. Another great one. Dave, thank you so much for putting this in front of me. It's funny because this was actually on my Aurora list next. So that never happens, to where I get somebody who donates to have me listen to something, and then that was actually the next thing I was going to listen to. Thank you all so much for being here to share this with me. I will see you on the next one.
$50 says she wasn't cleared to leave the hospital. Hey, Case. You know Agent Major?
Yes. Oh, thank God you're okay. And I am so sorry.
He's going to be joining